Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another video. And happy Star Wars Day to you all. Yes, guys, today is May the 4th, aka Star Wars Day. And in honor of Star Wars Day, let's talk about Star Wars, one of the most influential franchises of all time period, and would certainly be in my top 10 favorite franchises, even though it's not as high as you think, because I do think there are better franchises out there. But regardless, these movies are very influential to the sci-fi genre and blockbuster filmmaking in general, especially the original trilogy. And admittedly, I have not seen a Star Wars movie in a while. The last time I rewatched a Star Wars movie was Rogue One back in 2022, leading up to Andor, which I did a review on. But that doesn't stop me from making this list. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I'm only gonna be including 12 Star Wars movies. I won't include the holiday special nor the Ewok special. Just the actual movies. So without further ado, if you want to see my ranking of all the 12 Star Wars movies from worst to best, then just keep watching. At number 12, at the very bottom, my worst Star Wars movie, Star Wars The Clone Wars. I know animation fanboys, the animation fanboys would be like, "Oh, Frozen, you put an animated movie as the worst Star Wars movie. You are an animation hater. Clone Wars is the best Star Wars movie." Well, I don't want to hear that BS, because let's be real here, nobody likes this movie anyways. And I don't think it's a hot thing for me to put this in the worst. Like, if you're just gonna say this is the best Star Wars movie, then you're clearly a shiller for towards animation or something. But yeah, this movie fucking sucks. And honestly, it's actually the worst by a country mile. No other Star Wars movies come close to this one steaming hot pile of garbage. My God, I hate this movie with a burning passion. Oh my goodness, this movie is so bad. And this is supposed to be a pilot to a beloved Star Wars animated show. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not my favorite Star Wars show. There are better ones. My favorite Star Wars show would still be Ahsoka. I still stand by that, by the way. But regardless, yeah, the Clone Wars is a masterpiece. This, however, is no masterpiece. This is just a pure disaster on every single level. I mean, there is nothing good to say about this movie. It is like, the whole movie is basically just a war going on. It's supposed to be like full of action because it takes place during the Clone Wars. But even with the big action scenes and all that stuff, it manages to be incredibly boring. Oh my goodness, it's so boring. Really. And also, by the way, this is how you follow up Revenge of the Sith. Like, what the hell? There's nothing in this movie, and yeah, the animation sucks. The characters are so unlikable. Anakin and Obi-Wan are just jackasses, and my God, don't get me started on what they did with Ahsoka. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like how they actually improved Ahsoka's characters. I acknowledge Lucasfilm for taking people's criticisms of Ahsoka and actually improving her, but that doesn't change the fact that she is so fucking annoying in this movie. And the plot of this movie is so babyish. I mean, you could have had a more exciting plot because revolving around the Clone Wars, but what did the writers think of? A movie about Jabba the Hutt's son. Yeah, that's the plot of the movie. Why? I mean, good God. Yeah, nothing else to say about this movie. Not only is this the worst Star Wars movie, but it is honestly the worst movie of 2008. And it is in my top 10 worst animated movies of all time. Yes, I am going that far. So yeah, fuck off Clone Wars. Now let's get into the live action Star Wars movie. As number 11, my least favorite of the live action Star Wars movies, The Phantom Menace. Oh dear God, this movie. Yeah, I know, yeah. Happy 25th anniversary of this movie, I guess. I know this movie, yesterday this movie re-released in theaters. Well, no one's talking about seeing it, well, except Filmstock, then his girlfriend, Cam. But besides that, I don't hear anybody talking about, like, say that they went and saw it in theaters. Oh, that goes to show how people just still don't like this film, and they wouldn't even pay a buck to see it. But in all seriousness, though, I got this. Why the fuck are people suddenly praising this movie? Like, really, guys? Like, remember that time when this movie was hated and considered the worst Star Wars movie? Well, I'm still like one. Now I feel like I'm in the minority of just hating this movie, because now people are just suddenly praising this movie. Yeah, this is basically the Spider-Man 3 of Star Wars, believe it or not. Good God, this movie is incredibly boring. And it's also dated too. I mean, I don't get what's so appealing about this movie. I don't see anything that is appealing. And honestly, it sucks that this is the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. And just by watching this movie alone, I did not think I was going to be a Star Wars fan. Or at least I just made a mistake and go the prequel route. And I kind of lost my patience before getting into the original trilogy. But at least one of the prequels is actually the movie that got me to Star Wars. And you know which one I'm talking about, because no way it's this or Attack of the Clones. Now, I will say it's not really an irredeemable film, and there are some things I liked about this film, like Duel of the Fates. This movie introduced Duel of the Fates, my favorite Star Wars track alongside Battle of the Heroes. I mean, Padme is, besides the Revenge of the Sith movie itself, Padme is my favorite Star Wars. Padme is probably the best thing about the prequel, and she's by far the best character in the film. And I like Shmi Skywalker too, a very caring, loving, and caring mother to Anakin. And yeah, she's very likable. But that's all. That's all. But yeah, I mean, Jesus, yeah, this movie had no points. I mean, this movie basically says nothing. And this is supposed to be like the first prequel, the movie that started Star Wars. But what we got? Oh, it's about young, boring Obi-Wan Kenobi and boring Qui-Gon Jinn fighting Anakin and sense that he can use the Force and blah, 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 political federation, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Like, there's literally nothing to care about this movie. And yeah, this is why I think this movie is incredibly boring. And oh, if that's not bad enough, don't get me started on like the unlikable characters and the freaking dialogue. Oh God, it makes my ears bleed. Like, yeah, everyone knows how bad Jar Jar Binks is. I don't need to go through him, but hear me out, guys. He's not the worst character in the film. The true worst character of the film is young Anakin Skywalker. Oh my God, he was so fucking annoying. Like, it's hard to believe that this is the guy who turned to Vader. I mean, that was my reaction when I first saw this movie. Like, this is our Darth Vader, just an annoying little kid who just spits out the worst dialogue. Are you an angel? Like, and the worst line in the movie. And this features the worst quote in all of Star Wars. I'm a person and my name is Anakin. Oh, shut up, Anakin. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's just so cringy. And by the way, yeah, the pod racing scene is the most overrated Star Wars scene ever. I mean, people just say, people were like literally convincing me to admit the pod racing is good. Well, I gotta say, hell no to that. The pod racing scene is not exciting. It's just like I just did not give a shit. It's not as exciting. Heck, even the Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul fight, it's overrated. Now, don't get me wrong. the only reason people like that fight scene is because of the Duel of the Fate soundtrack. And yes, I get that, but the fighting itself, it's so like so dated. Like it's yeah, by far the most overrated lightsaber fight duel period. Oh yeah, and also there's a lightsaber duel in the middle of it that just felt like it came out of nowhere, and you're questioning what's even the point of that? Yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn is boring, and he's the most overrated Star Wars character. Seriously, people say he's one of the best Jedi's. Well, hell no, he's one of the weaker Jedi's. He's just a snooze fest, yeah, his death made me feel absolutely nothing. So yeah, why am I wasting my time like ranting on this film? It's bad. I feel like people are being too generous to this one now, and yeah, it's the worst of the episode Star Wars movies. At number 10, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, if Rise of Skywalker isn't people's worst Star Wars movies, then it's Attack of the Clones. And honestly, I don't blame you because Attack of the Clones sure is a bad film. Now it's not as bad as Phantom Menace. It is better, but that just definitely does not say much. Yeah, this is a film where I personally didn't really get pissed off at anything. And unlike Phantom Menace, where there was literally there was no attempt at fun at all. At least this movie attempted to be fun. Anything involving Obi-Wan Kenobi, it is fun. And this is the good Obi-Wan Kenobi from Ewan McGregor, not that boring and forgettable version of Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Phantom Menace. Yeah, finally we got rid of Jake Lloyd to Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, say what you want about Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker, but at least in this one, well, thank God for him finally being Anakin and not Jake Lloyd. Yeah, despite I'll get to his performance in a bit. Yeah, I mean, but every time the scene shifts to Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's actually really fun. I mean, the Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett action scene is fun, and also I will say, the movie actually feels far more important than Phantom Menace. I mean, one of the main problems I have with Phantom Menace is that it just feels very unimportant. Like, it feels like it's embarrassing because it's supposed to be episode 1. Like, it's supposed to feel important, but it doesn't. This one, however, it shows how the Clone Wars started. Now, that's a story that needs to be told. Despite it's poorly executed. The Clone Wars stuff in the third act is good, I guess. Oh yeah, also this is one of the better John Williams scores. Yeah, I really like the score here. And I like Padme. Again, the best character in the film. I like how they made Padme actually a badass in the Clone Wars. So I like that. But okay, enough of the generosity. Now let's get into what I hate about this film. Just like Phantom Menace, this is another bore fest of a movie. Yeah, this was a snooze fest of a movie. And you want to know what really brought this movie down? It's the romance between Anakin and Padme. Wow, yeah, their romance, it's so cheesy and so boring. I mean, I like Padme in this one, but I just don't give a shit about I don't give a shit about that. And yes, despite saying I prefer Hayden Christensen over Jake Lloyd, that does not say much because boy, Hayden Christensen's performance is so bad in this movie, so cringeworthy, infamously cringeworthy as that. Especially like I don't like sad. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and gets everywhere. And my God, he is so unlikable in this movie. He's such a dick. Now, you can clearly see how he's going to turn to the dark side because he's just not a likable character. And in this movie, I mean, I would forgive that, but this one, he's just unlikable in a way where he's just kind of annoying. And yeah, and also the plot is so confusing. I mean, yeah, you got Obi-Wan Kenobi investigating attempt at the Clone Wars and stuff, but it is so political. Like the plot is so contrived and convoluted. And yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I like Geonosis. Yeah. And also, I gotta say, Count Dooku is without question the most overrated Star Wars villain. People say he's one of the best Star Wars villains. Like, why? Like, are you serious? He's boring. People. Yeah, sure. There's like this whole plot of like, oh, he used to be a Jedi, but now he turned to the dark side. But they don't even show it. It's all told through exposition. And so, yeah, I did not give a rat's ass about this. Hey, Christopher Lee, you're so much better than this. Yeah, you're so much better than this. I mean, no one talks about his performance in what's that in Hugo. Yet he gets so much recognition for his performance here. Just why? Yeah. Oh yeah, also shout out to Dragon Critic, aka Leo Bryan. His Attack of the Clones review is my personal favorite review on this channel. His rage in this movie is hilarious. But otherwise, yeah, even though this movie doesn't piss me off as much as Phantom Menace, it still is a very bad film, a very dog shit film at that. At number 9, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Hey, what a coincidence! Episode 9 is at number 9. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I will admit though, I don't hate this film as much as I thought on reflection. Yeah, the more I think about this film, the more I realize, okay, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, there are actually some things to like about this movie. Yeah, there's some things to like about this movie. The visuals are good, I guess. Yeah, well, not all of the visuals are good. Sorry about that, the noise, but yeah, not all of the visuals are good. I mean, you literally, Exegol looks like absolute shit, and Exegol is probably the worst planet of the film. Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley are serviceable here. They don't give great performances, but they are serviceable. I don't know. I think what really saves the film for me is the third act. I think the third act is a hell of fun. And I gotta say, if I were to rank the Star Wars final battles, Rise of Skywalker's final battle would actually be right up there high. I mean, the whole, final battle is actually really good. Really good. And, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Nothing much else to say other than it's just the big final battle that you expect. And also, Rey and Kylo Ren, like, fighting alongside each other versus the guards. Now that is really good things. Yeah, the John Williams music is good, I guess. And also I will say that scene with Rey saying, I am that scene with Rey defeating Palpatine, I defend that scene. I think that scene is badass, especially when Rey is like, when Palpatine's like, I am all the Sith. And then Rey's like, and I am all the Jedi. And then Rey just literally goes gun mode, uses the 2 lightsabers to strike Palpatine, and then Palpatine just, strike Palpatine. And yeah, it is badass. Really like it. There's something I like about this film. I don't know. I like Lando in this film, despite he doesn't do much, but I just like seeing him return, I guess. I guess that will do. But yeah, other than that, everything else about Rise of Skywalker, no. I mean, it's still not a good movie, despite me saying. And yeah, whatever people say about the sequel trilogy, I get that. But to me personally, this is the weakest. This is the clear weak link in the sequel trilogy, not Last Jedi. There is so much things wrong with this film. Like, first of all, the clear disrespect to The Last Jedi. That's probably my biggest problem with the film. It disrespects both The Last Jedi and Return of the Jedi. I mean, why the fuck would you bring back Palpatine? He died in Return of the Jedi, and there's like no clear explanation other than the cloning. I heard that the Bad Batch explained how Palpatine was cloning. Palpatine was cloned, but I haven't. But I haven't seen season 3 of the Bad Batch yet, and I don't know if I should care enough to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it to see how the quote unquote explanation as to how Palpatine returned. But yeah, yeah, I guess. But seriously though, bringing him back is so stupid. And also, why reverse all the decisions Last Jedi made? I mean, Last Jedi went in such a bold direction. Like the fact that Rey's parents were revealed to be a nobody, that Rey doesn't belong to a big character. That is brilliant. Oh, but no, Rise of Skywalker's main goal is to quote unquote fix Last Jedi's problems, resulting in to just pretty much pretend that Last Jedi doesn't exist and just be its own thing. You know, the sequel trilogy isn't that bad when you actually view these movies on their own, but the whole trilogy itself is just so incoherent. And then Rise of Skywalker is the pinnacle of that. Just erase everything Last Jedi, change the direction, and just JJ just like fuck Rian Johnson. Seriously, Rey is a nobody. That's who Rey is. Rey is not Palpatine, and Rey is certainly not Skywalker. I mean, I think making Rey a nobody is the right decision to go through. And the only reason Palpatine came back is because Snoke died. But like seriously, we don't need another Palpatine. We don't need a big bad guy. Like we don't need this movie can do fine without a big evil threat. And yeah, the dialogue just sucks. The dialogue just sucks. Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, the dialogue is bad, but unlike the episodes 1 and 2, at least it's so bad it's memeable. Like somehow Palpatine returned is such a memeable line. Believe it or not. And yeah, also and another thing is that the characters don't do much. Poe, Finn, they're useless. C-3PO, he's annoying, honestly. Like, he's so annoying. He never shuts up. Babu Frick is overrated, honestly. I mean, the fact that some people say he's better than Grogu, I'm sorry, get the fuck out of here. I don't know, it's just... Oh yeah, but you know what? This movie could have actually been passable. But here's the thing. This movie is not as fun as it should be. Yeah, it has, lots and lots of action, but most of the action scenes are kind of dull. Like, the 2 lightsaber fights we get, Rey versus Kylo Ren, my god, they're so dull. Yeah, they're so slow. Like, they fight like this, or like, so boring, yeah. Oh, like, also that the whole idea of just Rey and Kylo fighting when they're like distance and like, they use this force contact, whatever the fuck. Yeah, that was a terrible fight scene. Despite Daisy really trying her best here, she overacts in some scenes. Oh yeah, also by the way, don't get me fucking started on like, Rey accidentally tries to lightning bolt on the ship. Yeah, don't get me started on the fact that the movie tried to make you think Chewie's dead. We're not stupid. We clearly saw that Chewie was on that ship that Rey struck her lightning on, but then suddenly Chewie's alive. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't want to talk more about this anymore. Moving on. At number 8, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yeah. This one is very hard to talk about because I cannot. The thing is with Solo: Star Wars Story, I cannot decide if I think this film is good or not. Don't get me wrong, it's not good. It's not bad either. But this is probably the most mid Star Wars movie. It's I don't know. It's so conflicting. Well, I'm gonna guess right off the way first. Kira is the best female character in the Disney Star Wars. And she's certainly one of my Star Wars crushes. Now, Sabine would still be my Star Wars crush. And also, you got Padme and Leia. But, Kira is certainly right up there. I love Emilia Clarke. Yeah, this isn't one of my favorite Emilia Clarke performances, but I think Kira really stole the show here, and I love that they put Emilia Clarke in the Star Wars movie. I just wish they gave her a better Star Wars movie because, yeah, this movie is part fun, part boring, I guess. The movie actually does start off fun, and it does have a fast pace to it. Fast pace to it. Yeah. Um, and also I guess the train scene is by far the best part of the film. The train heist scene was a lot of fun. And all the action scenes are good. I guess I like Beckett. Yeah, there's not much positive to say about this film, despite Kira really elevating this film and some fun moments here. And I gotta say, this has the most underrated Star Wars score. John Powell really had a very unique take on the Star Wars score. There's genuinely not much else to say about this film. To say about this film. But yeah, honestly, on reflection now, yeah, I said earlier that I couldn't decide if I like this film or don't like it. But on reflection, I made up my mind. I'm going negative on this film. I gave us a 3 in Letterboxd, but now I'm gonna change my rating to 2.5 out of 5 when I finish recording this video. But seriously though, yeah, Solo's not good. It's kind of it is a boring Star Wars movie. It's so slow paced, just like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. It's such a slow movie. And slow movie. Oh yeah. Also, another high praise to this I can give this film is Donald Glover as as Lando. I like him probably more than Billy D. Williams. Well, kinda, I guess. Yeah, I really like Lando a lot in this one. And Kessel Run scene is actually a lot of fun. Besides the train scene, you got 2 fun scenes here. Enfys Nest is actually a pretty underrated character. I just wish they gave her. I just wish she had more to her character. But yeah, despite this movie feeling boring, and also it's pointless as well. This movie felt pointless. Yeah, sure, we know how Han Solo got the Millennium Falcon and how he met Chewie, but it just felt so pointless. It felt like a waste of time, and it felt too long as well. Like yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. It's also incredibly forgettable as well. But here's the thing. Here's the main problem. The actor who played Han Solo, my God, Alden Ehrenreich, like, that's not how you pronounce his name. My God, he was such a boring Han Solo. He gave an incredibly boring performance. He really dragged it out, and it's proof that no one can replace Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is the true Han Solo. No one can replace him, and it just shows. And all the other characters, I did not give a shit about them. And by the way, yeah, this movie features the worst character in all of Disney Star Wars, L3. Like seriously, people say Helena from Dial of Destiny is annoying. Well, I beg to differ. L3 is far more annoying than Helena. I mean, she is the female Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, I think both Jar Jar and L3 would make a perfect couple. Don't you think? So yeah, and also this movie has a twist villain, Paul Bettany's character. Why? And the ending is super anticlimactic. Like seriously, what the fuck was that ending? So yeah, in conclusion, while Solo Star Wars Story is not a bad film, there are some fun stuff in it, and it's really elevated by both Emilia Clarke and Donald Glover. This movie is an absolute dud. But now we get into the good Star Wars movies. Thank God. At number 7, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Yeah, thank God we're talking positive about Star Wars this time around. Because Force Awakens is such a fun movie. Now, I will say this though, I do think it is kind of overhyped, and it shows because back when this movie came out, yeah, as you all know, Force Awakens is the most hyped movie at that time, yeah. Even though Age of Ultron was actually my most anticipated movie 2015, I was still hyped as hell for Force Awakens. And yeah, this movie just was like everyone saying this is the best Star Wars movie. This movie's a goat. And me, I even put Force Awakens as my favorite movie of all time, believe it or not. But as time went on, people just started to decline their thoughts. They realized that they overhyped this movie. I still enjoy this movie. Yeah, despite that one, I don't want to talk about the time. I started to just say this movie's bad. I don't want to talk about the time because let's be real here. This is a fun movie. Now, yes, this movie is certainly nothing special, and this movie is affected due to from being better than it is due to the fact that the story is basically just a carbon copy of A New Hope. But of A New Hope, it is a very safe movie. But Force Awakens is just probably the most harmless Star Wars movie. I gotta say, yeah, that's the best definition to say. The best word to say with this movie. It's harmless fun. It's a movie that's just full of action, movie with great action and I really like new characters. I mean, Finn is definitely the standout here. I mean, the whole premise of just Finn going from a stormtrooper to a rebel and switching sides. It's such a Finn is probably the most unique Star Wars character. I wish they did more with his character. And I like Han Solo. This one really like him. And the comedy in this movie is also really good, especially like that's not how the Force, but how Han Solo acted in that scene is just hilarious. And also the final battle is epic. One of my favorite final battles. Final battles. Rey. Yeah, I love that scene when like Rey picks up the lightsaber. Rey picks up the lightsaber. Yeah, using the Force, and then she grabs it, and then how do I say this? Yeah, the fact that we were all shocked to see Rey pick up the lightsaber and just kick the crap out of Kylo Ren. That was the best scene in the film. I mean, seeing Rey just pick up the lightsaber, it was so chilling. Although the whole time we were led to believe that Finn was the main character and not Rey, which is probably my biggest criticism with the film, is that it couldn't really decide who was the main character, Finn or Rey. I mean, with the marketing and like the first two acts of the film, Finn was depicted as the main character of the film, and Rey was just set up as a sidekick. But then it felt like at the last minute of the movie, it's like, hey, let's make some changes around here. You know what? Let's make Rey the main character instead, because yeah, I mean, Rey could have been a better protagonist if they actually planned to make her the protagonist in the first place, like and at least market her as the main character, the new hero, she should have been marketed as the new face of Star Wars. That would have been made far more of an impact in my opinion. But otherwise, yeah, this movie is fun, I guess. At number 6, Star Wars: Last Jedi. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the movies I already reviewed, I'm gonna keep them as brief as possible. And yeah, you know what? I just remembered that this is actually the last Star Wars movie I rewatched and reviewed. But yeah, believe it, I feel like Last Jedi just might now be the most times I've rewatched a Star Wars movie. Well, it's either this or Revenge of the Sith, but that's the thing. Yeah, Last Jedi is the most underrated Star Wars movie and hands down the best of the sequel trilogy. I love this movie, and I can't believe I hated this movie. Yes, guys, I will admit I only hate this movie just to agree with the toxic fandom. And also people were just talking to me about the problems, and it made me realize this movie actually sucks. But once upon a time, I actually loved this movie when it first came out in theaters. But then my classmate, my friend just talked to me about it, and the internet just made me hate this movie. But upon rewatching this movie, I could see now that this movie is actually great. This might be the most well-made and well-written Star Wars movie yet. It's such a compelling movie. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect movie. I mean, The Canobite scene, didn't care for that. It felt like a deleted scene. It felt like a scene that should have been a deleted scene. And Laura Dern's character, who I can't even remember Laura Dern's character name anymore. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, her character sucks. I mean, she's just so stupid. Like, I still can't get over how stupid she is. And also, the movie didn't need comedy. Why is there comedy in this? But other than that, yeah, this is the most this, like, out of all the Star Wars films, this feels like the most auteur driven. Meaning, it's the film that feels like it has the director's vision present the most. And this by far has has the strongest director the strongest director's vision for a Star Wars movie. It has such strong themes of accepting failure and letting go of the past. Luke Skywalker is at his best here, character-wise. He is such a misunderstood character. They did not ruin his character. They didn't turn him into a washed-up loser. He just he's a broken man who failed and wants to redeem himself. And it's all thanks to Rey. And I understand why you think Rey's a Mary Sue, but there's no way Rey's not a Mary Sue here. Her training was actually enough. She actually had enough training, and she wasn't trying to be overpowerful. Powerful. And the decisions that this movie made, the unexpected, subverting expectations decisions, they were just brilliant. Yeah, I mean, and also the action scenes are great, especially the throne room action scenes. Rey and Kylo Ren actually working together to bring down the guards. Yeah, and this is without question the most visually stunning Star Wars movie. The cinematography, oh my god, it's gorgeous. Like, especially that shot of Luke Skywalker walking into the AT-AT fighters, all the droid things, whatever you fucking want to call it, those walking thingies. That is gorgeous as fuck. Yeah, as fuck. Yeah, that white. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just noisy people. But yeah, it's just brilliant. Yeah, this is maybe the best written Star Wars movie, arguably, despite a few things, a few mishmashes along the way. Yeah, it's really good. And I will defend this movie to the day I die. At number 5, Return of the Jedi. Now, now we get into the Star Wars films. I actually rated a full 5 out of 5, and Return of the Jedi is just the first of it. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, yes, it is one of the weaker 5 out of 5 movies out of all the movies I gave this rating to. But regardless, yeah, this movie is still freaking brilliant. And this is freaking brilliant. Yeah, sure. The movie does have its slow-paced moments, but it is a slow film. It's probably the slowest of the original trilogy. But the slow films never affected the movie at all. Throughout the movie, I was engaged. I mean, the whole first act of rescuing the Jabba the Hutt, rescuing Han Solo is a lot of fun despite being slow paced. It is very creepy and disturbing, but in a good way. Yeah, the first act is probably the most disturbing moment of all of Star Wars, in my opinion. We get this really epic action scene with Luke versus Boba Fett. And by the way, the fact that he was killed off, why the fuck do we need a Book of Boba Fett show? Why did we need to bring back Book of Boba Fett? I don't understand, honestly. And but yeah, as the more the film progresses, it gets better and better and better from here. I think the Ewoks are vastly overhated. Yeah, sure, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch those Ewok specials, but I think in this film they're really cute, and I think I like them. They bring in the charm to this film, and the final battle is freaking epic. Like, pretty much the main reason why I actually gave this a 5 out of 5 is because of the redemption. It's because of Vader's redemption arc. What a powerful redemption arc that was. Just seeing Vader redeem himself after everything he's done. And And yeah, that Luke versus Vader fight is might be my personal favorite out of the Luke versus Vader fights in the original trilogy. And man, seeing seeing Darth Vader just turn into a light, so like defeat Palpatine, and then defeat Palpatine, and then his demise, while Luke Skywalker expresses his love for his father and happy that he redeemed himself. Man, that was such an emotional film. Maybe the most emotional Star Wars movie at that. So yeah, all in all, yeah, Return of the Jedi is amazing. Not much else. At number 4, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Another Star Wars movie I previously reviewed, so I won't say much about this film, but yeah. To quote Orson Krennic in this movie, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, this movie is beautiful. Yeah, Gareth Edwards. Just knocked it out of the park with this film. In my review of the creator, I said that I called the creator my favorite Gareth Edwards movies, but on reflection, I now think Rogue One is truly Gareth Edwards' best movie, period. Yeah. One of the best cinema experiences I had back in 2016 where I saw a press screening of it. And I remember that time when everyone was cheering when Leia appeared in the end. And one of the soldiers was like, hey, Leia, what does this mean? Hope. Yeah, everyone cheered the fuck out of that. And then they all cheered until the credits roll. Yeah, what an amazing experience that was. And this movie is had such a simple story that felt so straightforward, and yet it felt needed in some ways. It's unnecessary on paper, but by execution, it feels like it's needed because it's a story like so straightforward, yet it's so grounded in tone. It feels like a spy thriller mashed into Star Wars, and Jyn Erso is such an underrated protagonist. Heck, the characters here are underrated. Well, except Cassian Andor. Because Andor is accurately rated. Everyone loves Andor. But all the other characters, I feel like they're very underappreciated. There's not a single character in the movie who I think felt wasted. I cared about everybody, especially Jyn Erso, who I think is Felicity Jones' the best role, period. Yeah. And my God, the war scene, best climax in the modern Star Wars movie. It is just pure epic and killing off everybody at the end. It's just wow. It's just such a bold move. And of course, you can't deny that Darth Vader scene where he just still kicks the crap out of the Emperor, the rebels. And then music just like dun 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 dun. Yeah, what a spine-chilling moment that was. Yeah, this is hands down the best of the Disney Star Wars movies. It's no Andor, and Disney has done better with some of the Star Wars shows, but regardless, out of the movies, this is the best one. At number 3, A New Hope. Yeah, the very first Star Wars movie, period, and man, what a brilliant movie this was. What a bloody brilliant movie this was. Yeah, it is such an iconic masterpiece. There is no denying about that. And this movie is actually a lot of fun. What makes this movie work so well is that it's besides this being just an iconic game changer to blockbusters in general, and pretty much the sci-fi genre. This is such a very simple yet fun movie. Just like Force Awakens, it's another Star Wars movie that feels very harmless. It's a very simple and straightforward story about a Jedi, a rebel, and a Wookiee who work together to save a princess from an evil villain. Yeah, Leia is tied with Darth Vader as my favorite Star Wars character. Character of Star Wars. In fact, yeah, on reflection, Princess Leia might now be my Star Wars crush. Well, yeah, I guess she is. Yeah, she is, and she is hot. He is damn hot in this one. And despite this feeling old and a little slow, it never felt boring. Yes, I will admit though, I had a hard time getting into this movie on the first watch, but the more I sat with it, the more I realized how good this is. And the whole sequence of Luke and Han like running around the Empire base to find Leia and save it while shooting a bunch of stormtroopers. Yeah, that's a bunch of fun. And I don't get the hate for the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader fight scene. I mean, people are being way too harsh in it. Yes, it is one of the weaker lightsaber duels, but and by far the weakest part of the film. But come on, it's the freaking 1970s. Technology wasn't advanced at that time. And it's out there, but at least it deserves to be forgiven. In my personal opinion, yeah, it deserves to be forgiven. But otherwise, yeah, this movie. But nothing much else to say. This movie is just a lot of fun. Love Vader, love Leia, love every single character. Oh yeah, and also the binary sunset. Probably the most gorgeous Star Wars shot, period. No denying. So yeah. At number 2, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Yeah, funny how the first 2 prequels are my least favorites in the Star Wars are my least favorite of the live action Star Wars movies. And then we got Revenge of the Sith, which is among my top 2 favorite Star Wars movies. But yeah, man, Revenge of the Sith is a freaking masterpiece. Yeah, this and the number 1 spot are probably the best of the best in my opinion. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie 2005, bar none. Despite, yes, it was my favorite Star Wars movie for the longest time, but bar none, yeah. It's still this. It was still disturbing. It was still my favorite, but it's just that on reflection, there's just one other Star Wars film I like better. But yeah, this is the film that this is the film that how do I say this? Yeah, this is the film that made me a Star Wars fan. The one Star Wars film, because I started with episode 1, and you know how I felt about episodes 1 and 2, but episode 3. Yeah, this movie is just brilliant. And I'm glad that this movie has a fan base now. I can understand if you think that this is the best Star Wars movie. And because I adore this movie. Yeah, it is so epic, so action-packed. This is by far the best action and the best score of this entire Star Wars franchise. I mean, the Battle of the Heroes score with a dun 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 dun. Oh man, it is so epic. And also the entire how do I say this? The action in this movie is freaking badass. Anakin versus Obi-Wan is without question the best lightsaber duel in Star Wars, period. I love how fast-paced and epic it was. And yeah, yes, there are some slow burn moments in the first half, which is probably what kept this being a number 2. But other than that, yeah, this movie rules. And yeah, I feel like Hayden Christensen gets way too much hate here. This is a time when Hayden Christensen actually improved on his performance. He actually, for once, gave a good performance as Anakin. And Obi-Wan is the best. Obi-Wan and Padme are the best characters in the film. Specifically Padme, but Obi-Wan is great. And man, the dialogue here is so good, especially hello there. And also Anakin's speech, and especially this line. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try. Oh, I hate you. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And this is by far the most important Star Wars movie because this is the movie that led into the events of A New Hope. Like this movie, I had the fall of Order 66, and the ending of the Clone Wars and Anakin turning into Darth Vader, and also even in the ending we got the birth of Luke and Leia. Yeah, what a masterful film this was. But it could have been my number 1, if it wasn't for what. And my number 1 favorite Star Wars movie is, of course, The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I know, cliche pick, I know, but I don't care. This movie deserves to be everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. It is so iconic. It is so iconic. Yeah, and plus, remember earlier when I said that I was going to rewatch one Star Wars movie today? It's going to be this one. I'm going to rewatch this movie right after I finish this video. But the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I think this is the best one. And it's the best one for good reasons. Because, yeah, this movie is everything a sequel should be. It's darker, it's more mature, and it's more groundbreaking. And even though, yeah, there are a tad bit of slow-paced moments, I mean, it actually felt more enjoyable and attached. It kind of felt more entertaining than Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith had more entertaining action, but like what I said, the slow bits here are in Revenge of the Sith were actually what elevated this to be number one, because from start to finish, I didn't feel the slow burn at all. Like there was never a scene where I would point out, yeah, that's a slow burn. That's a slow burn. And man, yeah, everything is perfect. The writing, the script, the visuals, for its time, the action, that's the engagement with audiences, and Darth Vader just being one of the greatest villains ever. But I think what really made people fall in love with this film is that is the whole "No, I am your father," the most iconic plot twist in cinema history. Period. One that still shocks me to this day whenever I go back and revisit this film. And seeing just Luke Skywalker lose to Vader, man, what an ending that was. And also the whole training scene, and also not only that iconic quote, but you also got Yoda's iconic quote, "Do or do not. There is no try," which is the most inspirational Star Wars quote, period. And Leia is, like what I said, Leia is now my Star Wars crush, and it applies here. And Cloud City is my personal favorite Star Wars world. Yeah, if I were to live in a Star Wars planet, I would certainly live in Cloud City. So yeah, not much else to say. Yeah, this would actually be my 11th favorite movie of all time. Yeah, I guess 11th would do. And this is yeah, I would say this is my second favorite movie of the 80s. Second only to Back to the Future. Yeah, Back to the Future would be my favorite 80s movie. And yes, guys, yeah, it came close to being my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. It didn't quite reach a level, but I can confidently say that Empire Strikes Back is the number one greatest Star Wars movie of all time. So also for my top 10 favorite, so also for my ranking of the Star Wars movies. Yeah, a very long video, but I had to get into detail because I have not talked about these Star Wars movies on my channel before. Hopefully one day I get to do full reviews of Star Wars movies. So yeah, what is your ranking of the Star Wars movies? Or at least, what is your favorite and least favorite Star Wars movies? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Haven't decided on what my next video is yet, but you'll see. So yeah, bye guys.